Actually, my plan was to make a top 10 Dream Theater metal whiffs video with this video, but while I was practicing and recording some of the riffs, I found something really interesting, an interesting tip, an interesting pattern which can really help you to play odd meter metal riffings. I'm John Hombach, back from my practice cave, and welcome to today's video, Petrucci Debunked, the double pick. I came across this problem while recording the riff for constant motion. I will not get too much into the detail of constant motion, but I will explain you the situation. Imagine you have some sort of 4/4 bars, let's say 3/4/4 bars, and you play a riff consists of only 60 notes, or 8 notes. Let's say 8 notes. It's a bit easier to make it down on 8 notes. I don't know, something like... yeah. Okay, let's say we play that 3 times, 3 bars, and then in the 4th bar we're going to play a 7/8 bar. Then some people could say, man, why are you playing 7/8? Just play 4/4, let's make it just in 4/4 so it's simple and easy and bullshit. If it sounds great with a 7/8 at the end, why not playing a 7/8? The sky is the limit. Okay, so let's say we're playing a 7/8 bar at the 4th bar. But we're taking the same riff, just leaving out one note, one 8 note. Okay, let's say it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Until that point. Okay, what happens with the picking with our right hand? Well, so far in the 4/4 bars, we have constant alternate picking. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Sometimes on 2 different strings, sometimes with just 1 string. Maybe we could include a string skip to make it a bit more difficult. Yeah! Let's take this riff with a string skip in it. So we have constant alternate picking on 2 strings, on a string skip, and on 1 string. When we are playing the 4/4 bars, it repeats itself really beautifully. On every number we have a down pick, and on every, I don't know, and or 8th note, or that's between the numbers, we have a up pick. So pretty simple, pretty easy. Down, up, 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 down. In the 7/8 bar we are missing 1 note. We are missing 1 8th note. And this also means that we are missing 1 pick stroke, 1 up pick. Okay, so we have in the 7/8 bar down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and then it would repeat. Then the 4/4 bar starts again. So what's now? We're having 2 options. The first one is we're taking the riff, playing it to the next repetition, and there we are changing every downstroke to an upstroke and every upstroke to a downstroke, which can be quite difficult. Yeah, this could be quite difficult. Because every outside picking is now an inside picking, everything that was before played with a downsized pick slanting should be now played with an upsized pick slanting, so we are switching top and bottom. But it's possible. It's a bit more difficult and challenging, but it's still possible. And it's a really, really good exercise for all of those things, like inside-outside picking, or downward pick slanting and upward pick slanting. So let's try that out. We have down, up, 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 down. Ah, damn it! It's really, you see, it's a bit difficult. And after that repetition where everything was twisted and turned, we are now having a repetition where everything is usual, starting with a downstroke. Simple and easy as we know it. So, as you can see, this is quite difficult, especially when it comes to faster riffs like the constant motion riff, which is a really fast and difficult riff, and also in live situations. And now the second option is the one that I have realized while watching some of the live Petrucci videos and also some great covers from constant motion. And here the people are doing the double pick, or I call it double pick. What happens here is, instead of doing constant alternate picking, where you have really down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, changing from every note, and it doesn't matter if there is a 7/8 or a 5/8 or whatever in it, you have down, up, down, up. Petrucci is using this double pick, which means that in the 7/8 bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the last note is a down pick. And the first note he starts again with a down pick. So he's picking twice in the same direction, which is in this case the down direction. So we're having and this is a lot easier than switching the picking directions. We have the same picking directions every time we repeat the riff. We are starting with a downstroke, but having not a constant alternate picking. We have that one point where we're picking twice in one direction, and this is really helpful for those kind of parts where I would say one note is missing, one beat is missing, that would split up our constant alternate picking. Yeah, and this makes those kinds of parts pretty easy, or a bit more easier than doing the constant alternate picking stuff. So try that out, check out the constant motion riff, or create your own riff while doing this kind of method and practicing, or experiment with some of the odd meter timings. It's really, you have this really cool effect, like in this riff it's like the pulse is going on and the sound of the riff is different after the 7/8 because our articulation is a bit different. You can use odd meters, really great, really creative and really cool in songwriting. Try that, experiment with that. And if you have problems with some of the riffs and on the picking, keep in mind you can pick twice in one direction. It can be a bit tough when it comes to faster tempos, but even in the fast tempo like of constant motion, it's still possible. And I think it's the most natural or easiest way to do this, because we only have to learn one pick direction. So yeah, I hope you like this mini lesson, this mini video. If you have any kind of question, any sort of question, just write them in the comments and I'm going to answer them. And if you want the tabs, not the pads, the tabs, I'm going to tab both versions so you can see clearly the difference between it. Yeah, and so far, time to practice this kind of method, time to write some really great riffs and awesome riffs with that, like Master Petrucci, and going to see you on the next video. Bye.